there and make repairs, etc. But we're not going to get into all that. Let's just say cement on the ground, right? So if you have pipes that go underneath that or ductwork and something happens to those, this is my ductwork right here, blowing like sweet, cool air into the house. If that's inside the slab or encased in cement, what happens if that ductwork collapses during construction? What happens to the metal if it's down here and you get any moisture, condensation buildup? You start to get ductwork that's inaccessible for repair, really. So you'd have to clear it out, break some concrete. Probably a little bit more prone to rusting as well.
Right. So more expensive repairs right there. You've got to break up the concrete to get to some things.
And that includes plumbing that goes through there. So if you have a crack right in this beautiful little area here, how are you going to fix that pipe if it's going through the cement?
Right.
Well, you're going to have to take some of that off.
Jackhammer. Time to get the jackhammer out. Okay. So that's going to be some messy, expensive repairs.
So repairs to slabs can be more expensive because of that additional work. The example and the pro on the other side to a crawl space is it's accessible under here. So if you got to go under here and get to this ductwork that's corroding, you know, this is just little home inspector me over here.
I like how he's pink. That's a good color.
Woo, I'm crawling. No, I'm not doing it. I'm crawling up and then looking at the ductwork right here. It's a lot easier to fix, as well as like any pipes that come underneath the house, as well as electrical wiring, things like that. You can get under there and you can fix it. Now, it's not always ideal in height, but at least you're not breaking through any concrete or flooring.
Right. Okay. So what about tree roots? Mother Nature always laughs last, as we've seen with flooding. So what about trees growing on your property?
Yeah. So trees can affect the foundation on a crawl space just as much as they can affect a slab. The problem is going to be in the slab. Once you start to get cracks and shifting in the slab, then it's a little bit harder to repair. So if the slab's here, what I kind of did with the blue is your flooring is like right on top of the slab. So to fix that, now you're going to have to most likely tear out flooring, things like that. That shift is going to cause cracks, maybe groundwater, areas for groundwater or termites, pests to come up into the house. So these can be a little bit more pricey when they start to crack, but they're stronger in the sense that they're right on top of the earth, right? So you just have a big piece of cement with, you know, the components of rebar and whatnot, but it's just right on top of the soil.
Right.
So even if it's shifting, most likely it's not falling off or falling away unless there's some serious like soil deterioration. Now over here, the tree roots and things, maybe it affects like a portion of your foundation. And then the good news is you got your floor structure up resting on top of this. So you have a lot more foundation walls and you got piers holding up your floor structure. So if part of this foundation goes, then it's a lot easier to fix. You have a lot more stabilization points on that floor structure.
Okay.
Yeah. So this can be stronger, but more pricey if it fails. This is more easy to fix, in my opinion.
Easy to fix.
And you can just get underneath and mess with everything.
Okay. Yeah, and what about flooding? Cons of flooding if flooding occurs with a slab.
So we had the issues with all the rain, right?
Yes.
So I had a friend call me and she was asking about the flooding stuff. She was asking about flood insurance, actually. And if you're out there, you know who you are. What's up? You can comment, but I won't call anyone out. So when you're looking up the pros and cons of a slab, it says slabs flood more easily than crawl spaces. In a sense. Well, homes with slabs flood more easily, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why would you think that is?
Because it's built on the ground.
Exactly. So that's what her issue was. And I'm going to come in here with some purple rain.
Purple rain.
Purple rain.
Purple rain.
When you're on grade and the floodwaters are up here, right? So it's raining for both houses. You can see there's both houses. When the water's up here and this is the ground, then it's going to flow over to your floors and flood all that out. So homes on slabs often can have a higher likelihood of flooding inside the home.
Inside the home.
So when her house flooded, she had a crawl space, and she said the crawl space flooded all over the place, but it didn't reach the subfloor. It never reached the floor structure, and it never got inside the house. So the benefit here was that the house was built off the ground with a crawl space, and the water flowed underneath the house.
Awesome. Yeah.
So even on flooding, there's some differences. Now,
right.
We live in hill country. I say this time and time again. I think lot drainage is the #1 issue that we see with home inspections in this area.
Yes.
So even with both of these crawl space versus slab, flooding should really also be looked at as a lot drainage issue, because you want the lot outside to slope away from the home.
Exactly. You never want it sloping towards obvious reasons. That's where water's going to go.
Yep.
Okay.
Now I got all convoluted with my purple.
Right. That's all right. It still looks great.
Yeah.
So what about those were some cons of the slab. So we're going to talk about some pros of a slab, which we kind of mixed in a little bit.
We did a little further back and forth.
Yeah, let's do so further into detail. Prevention of mold growth, because there's less area for an environment to be for fungal growth and mold growth, right?
Yeah, so one of the pros then of a slab would be that you don't have that, like you said, environment underneath it, right? So if it's just cement on gravel and soil, you're not going to get that area where the moisture in the air are down there, or the humidity, things like that, and even the wood underneath, really, too.
Right.
Things that mold wants to eat.
Mm-hmm.
So it's better to prevent mold intrusion into the home. Now, that's the con to the crawl space, right?
Mm.
So we got water underneath the crawl space. Maybe it's groundwater. Maybe it is the lot drainage. What happens there is then it's humid, and if it's not venting right, you start to get those fungal spores that rest on the floor joists. And we see that in like 90% of homes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So this area is prone for that. You have hills, and we have a very humid environment, which makes it good for growing things, I guess. But mold is not one of those things that you want to grow in your home.
Yeah. Well, and then there's the environment argument as well with the crawl space. It makes me think about when you do get a little bit of water under there, the mice that like to eat that.
Yes.
So, or drink that. So the mice will come down and they'll start drinking that water. Then you can start to get larger rodents and things like cats, possums, and other things that want to come into the crawl space as well.
Right. Right. And then that's not good.
Yeah.
And you've got to call the pest company or help.
Yeah, absolutely. And then when you think about termites, since we're in the South, so right here on that slab that touches the soil there, your wood for your floor structure is above it. But down here, you've got exposed wood. So you got a lot more exposed wood. You got a higher likelihood of getting termites in your crawl space.
Yes.
Plus, people use it for storage. So you'll find that could be listed as a pro, that your crawl space is storage. But a lot of times we see people store wood under there. And now you got wood on the soil that you're storing in your crawl space in moist conditions.
Right.
And you're almost asking for termites and things like that.
Yes. And then if you do have a crawl space, there's ways to prevent this from happening, such as crawl space encapsulation, which is done by companies that are vendors in Help TN as well. Yeah. And we'll definitely do more videos on that as well.
Well, they repair both of the
they do repair
both foundation types as well. That's another argument of like, do I encapsulate my crawl space or not? That'd probably have to be a different episode.
Right.
Sometimes like a pest company might tell you that they don't like the idea of an encapsulated crawl space because you can't see any of the termites that are coming behind those vapor barriers.
Right. Right. So one thing that I've noticed that some people, what they will do for InstaDry, for his example, is they'll leave a section that is visible for inspectors.
Yep, at the top there, you can leave a little bit of that. That's that's always the best thing to do.
Yep.
So,
and then you obviously control humidity levels so that mold cannot grow. So, or at least remove the conditions for it to be able to grow. Yes.
Yeah, because a lot of times with encapsulation, they install, water, I guess, systems. Yeah, like sub pumps, but I was thinking I'd say water ejection systems. So before you encapsulate, you're going to have some kind of sump pump or French drain in there. So anything that does come in gets kicked out.
Okay. Yeah, we've seen plenty of that happening with all the flooded basements. But
As a home inspector, I love a slab day. Because
he doesn't have to crawl underneath it.
Yeah, because I'm not crawling under here. But also, as a home inspector and a professional, I love a crawl space because it gives me more visibility onto what's happening with the home, especially with ductwork and plumbing, structure, things like that. So, selfishly, I love a slab. Professionally, I do love a crawl space.
Yeah. Okay. So, and we've talked about cons and pros of slabs. We mixed in crawl space a little bit. We're going to go back over the cons of a crawl space first and then pros finally, since he has mixed.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So you want to start on cons of one?
Yeah. Let's
only,
do cons.
and then pros of one?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. So on the slab, they say usually it's less expensive to build.
Okay.
That it's stronger.
Okay.
That it's, where am I going with that?
It's less expensive, it's stronger, so that's a benefit for
less
builders.
Environment for the fungal growth.
Less environment for fungal growth, right?
Wait, am I on? I'm going to pros, didn't I?
Yeah, we did pros, but that's okay.
I went to pros.
No problem. Keep doing.
So, anyways, maybe no steps. Maybe that it's all at ground level for people.
Okay, so you don't need steps. They're not required.
So those are the pros to a slab. The cons would be more money for repairs.
Okay.
That it could be flooded more easily.
Okay.
That it's not necessarily designed for being built on a hill.
Right. Level ground.
Yeah. So if you have ductwork or plumbing issues, they're hard to get to.
Okay.
So then the pros for a crawl space, we had that they work well on slopes. Mm-hmm. So that's this area. That the ductwork and plumbing is accessible. The foundation is easier to work on. Actually, when we were looking at it, they said better for earthquakes.
Yes, that's one thing. So this is an earthquake zone. Apparently, there's been people having earthquakes, experiencing them. I know Cheryl Healy actually said that she was in class with her students and witnessed an earthquake.
Really?
Yep, that was in Union County. So,
you know, a lot of people in West Knoxville feel them, but I'm up in Fountain City and I'm like just smooth sailing on my porch. So
smooth sailing.
I don't know what's happening out west, but I do hear a lot about earthquakes out here.
And the reason that they are better is because they're able to flex. And, you know, a slab's just going to crack probably with an earthquake.
So
crawl space is a little more flexible.
Inspectors, the other pro is that pest inspectors can go see. Example is I was talking to our pest company in the Help TN program, mm-hmm. and he was talking about when you go to do a termite litter or a termite inspection on a slab, you know, since you can't see underneath, you kind of have to look for the joints between the slabs, right? And you have to kind of inspect those areas and hope that you can actually see something. Right. But if they're coming from underneath the slab and into your walls and they just haven't chewed their way out yet, it's not visible.
Right.
But in a crawl space, you're going to see those tubes before they reach the house.
Yes. So that then you can actually, again, a cheaper repair.
Yeah.
Type deal, of course.
So that was the pros for crawl space. Again, though, the cons.
Prices we talked about. Repairs are more expensive for slabs versus crawl spaces. Majority of the time, they're cheaper. Slabs are cheaper to build and they're stronger. That work better on flat land. Okay, so
look, I just think it boils down the cons real quick to a slab or a crawl space where it was the fungal growth and the pests in my mind.
Okay,
so if I had to break it down, it comes to money and pests, right, and mold. So this can cost you more in repairs than this.
But it can save you from.
But it can save you from fungal growth and pests a little bit differently than this can.
Right.
I think with the proper prevention and getting all those annual inspections, quarterly inspections with the pest company, I'm still personally leaning towards a crawl space because it's accessible. Mm-hmm. And if you do have a problem, it's going to cost a little bit less money.
Yes, that's also extra storage space as well. So
don't do it.
He says don't do it. That's fine. I understand that.
Get a shed.
Get a shed.
Yeah.
It's much easier.
Put it in the garage. if you guys have had problems with either a crawl space or with a slab, we'd love to hear about it. Tell us any pros or cons that you've experienced. Please like and share, and tag a friend maybe who's had a problem. We'd love to talk to them about it as well. Maybe get some more stories for the future.
Yep. Like this post, tag a friend or a homeowner that needs to see it, and click the link in the description below to learn more about Help TN. It's helptn.com. HELPTN.com. We hope you'll have a wonderful day. .com.
All right, Slabs vs. Crawl Spaces. Thanks, everyone.
And his artwork.
Yeah, dude, my artwork's getting better at some point.
I think that's what we should do the next video about is artwork.
Yeah.
So you can draw better.
Okay, do a home draw off or something.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, we
I'll
can do that.
probably lose that. That'd be fun.
How many people?
Alex called me twice. I don't know why. Okay, so this one as well.
We still on any of these?
Nope. We were. A few people were watching.
I'm sure nobody cares about Slab.
Yeah, but the girls were watching. Yeah. So at least we got some views.
Gavin Foster.
They jump on for a minute or two, then they go back to work. I guess. Did you say that? Sweet.
Yeah.
Post it. Share it.
This one just said done.
Yeah, I know they behave differently. Sorry, I feel like this one was shaky as hell because I'm like,
Oh,
walk
no.
around.
Well, you're comparing it to all the rest of these.
Yeah.
I also
167 views on yours, Jason.
really.
Yeah.
Damn.
Todd Huber was like, more.
This fucking button is gone. I'm like, shit, where's it at? I didn't even know that. Todd Huber was saying more?
Mm-hmm.
Good.
We had 4 comments.
Awesome.
I guess we should have went to comments.
Well, and that's what we can, like, well, I have my computer for, but that's only on mine. But I mean, we can open up the other ones.
Well, I
too.
mean, like with her being
Oh,
there.
wait,
Yeah.
just kidding.
That's
I
the
closed
benefit.
it and it's on the video from the other day.
Drop that?
Yeah.
Oh.
Tragedy.
I was getting ready to say, what
This
do you?
fell out of my ear.
That was like way too much. For
I know, that was weird. It's just weird what was showing up. There we go. 30 views.
I was I feel like I was off my game though. Oh,
Yeah,
well,
me too.
can't win them all.
444.
No, can't win them all. Me too, though. All right, but we're gonna be getting more with her in videos, so we're gonna start doing that. But we're also gonna be at the parade tomorrow, so
Okay.
we're gonna
That'll be
bring the
good.
Smove to the parade and use it.
That's gonna be good. I'll
Yeah.
be in. I'm gonna wear my fatigue pants, or boots, or whatever. Probably. I don't know if it's gonna be hot. Man.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's supposed to be 60.
Hey Siri,
because I'm like, do I wear
what's the weather going to be
Yeah.
like tomorrow?
do I wear my sweater or my t-shirt? Or my
Expect
singlet?
partly cloudy skies in Knoxville tomorrow. The high will be